Hello there, Chad Remington here, your lead expert reporter of the Prestigious Diamond Dynasty League. Here with you again to do a trade review. Generally, I'm pretty happy to be here and see a trade, do a trade review. Of course, it's part of my job. But with this trade, just not happy to be here. Not happy to review this trade. I hate this trade. We'll just get into it. I'll try to make this video quick and not go on a rant, but Matt's second team is receiving James Robinson from the Blue Barracudas, Kyle Anderson, and Tyler Schaefer and Matt's second team is sending off Cole Kmet, AJ Dillon, and a 2022 second round pick. Again, in return for James Robinson. I think there's a lot. There's so many ways that I hate this trade. I'm not going to go down all of them. I won't hate that Warris, Tyler Schaefer, is trying to make a playoff push. I won't hate on that. Do I think his team can make a playoff push? Do I think this is a team to decide to make a playoff push with? Absolutely not. I mean, Kamara's hurt right now. Maybe he goes this week. Hopkins is banged up. Knox is coming back. Molly Cox, woohoo. T.Y. Hilton, I think this is the first week he's healthy. He'll probably get hurt again. Mac Jones, we have a game manager at the quarterback. I don't want to tear this team a new one continuously, but it's not like we have depth here in this team. Like Amon St. Brown is like the best depth here. This team just injury. This is not a team I would decide to do a playoff push with. I'm gonna keep it short. Whatever. I still respect making playoff pushes, so we'll look past that. James Robinson though, maybe a one. We can learn all 101 on a trade not to do to make a playoff push is to trade for an injured player. That's self-explanatory. I could do like a 5-second pause here and let you think about this, but I'm not going to do that. James Robinson, he's hurt. He's a good player, sure. He's hurt. Why would you? I don't know. As far as the dynasty trade with James Robinson, I'm not a fan of him at all. He's an undrafted free agent or undrafted not free agent player, which he's a good player. He plays well, and they found a dime in the rough. If he is so special, why would the Jags draft ETN super early on in their this current year's draft? Will this James Robinson be in a committee at the come next year? Will he be playing? I don't know. Maybe he'd be on it. Maybe he could get traded to a better team who could maybe use him. I don't. Maybe he gets in better situation and this trade becomes worth it. In this current situation, the fact that he's injured, again, draft capital is the Jaguars. He's an undrafted free agent. Don't have to play him because they want to. They're gonna want to play ETN because he's a high draft pick. They draft him for a reason. Yes, he's young. There's just so many question marks. And sure, if the question marks all turn into exclamation marks and they all line up, good, you got James Robinson. But let's go to the other side of trade and what you spent to get James Robinson, who's a bunch of question marks. We got Cole Kmet, a very young tight end. Kyle's team is shit tight ends, so he's at least adding a young tight end on his end. And AJ Dillon, who I think is a very promising prospect. Again, he's not an undrafted, player. He's a second round draft pick, I believe. Sure, he's a second running back on his team right now, but eventually he's either gonna, they get rid of Aaron Jones, or even trade AJ Dillon to another team. But he will get his time in the sun, and I think he's a very good college player. He comes from a good background, and he will get his time, and he's very young. So, and on top of this, let's just throw in an early, which is going to be an early next year's second round. I think this trade should have been done with maybe like a fourth round, third round. Second round is just like, what's going on here? So I hate this trade. I Kyle's obviously in the better end of this. He's building up a couple young players in an early draft pick for James Robinson, who's might not even gonna be his team's number two. In a year, definitely in 2 years, I think. So I maybe I get proven wrong with James Robinson, but I hate this trade. I mean I don't Tyler likes tight ends, but he took his tight end, turned around, and Kyle rammed one up there. So I hate this trade. My least favorite trade by far. I won't keep talking about it. It's ridiculous. Just a 101 not how to do trade to make a playoff push. Have a great one.